Hello my YouTube friends. Here is a video you might find interesting while living in United States, because that's gonna be, if not interesting, at least kind of exotic, because I'm gonna talk for the first time and probably the last of a knife that is very well known, very famous in France, which is the brand called the Layole. In France, actually, we have three really well-known brands. We have first the Opinel, that every one of you surely know, really user knives for not a lot of money, not expensive knives. Then we have all the knives from the area from Thiers. I'm not really sure that you know this one, and those from Layole. Layole, it's not a brand actually. It's a small village in France, and I've been to this village like 3 years ago during a bike trip, and we were all knife fans, so we stopped there. It's very interesting. This village has today, I think it's a couple of thousand people living there, and they're famous for their knives since the very beginning of the 19th century. They produce knives still since then. And you know what? Even the shape you have a lot of things in common for the Layole, and the shape of the blade, and a lot of things in this blade realize, in those years from the very 19th century. So they kept the tradition there. And when you go to this city, to this place, small village, like I said, you have mainly, knife shops. And thing is now that, like I said, it's not a brand. Layole it's the name of this small town, and they didn't put any trademark on this. So they are surrounded like you couldn't imagine with knockoffs, small shitty knives made from China, and they can use all the shape and all the features that define a Layole freely, because they're not protected by any trademark. So that's very unfortunate. So if ever you have a Layole in hand, understand that you have nine times out of 10 it will be a knockoff for sure. So you won't, if you want to get a Layole, you will need to have a certificate of authenticity and to buy from a very well-known house. So you need to understand that. It's no trademark at all. Okay, now with the history, Layole has several things that you can find in every of their knives. First of all, the shape of this handle. It's very, very, very reminiscent of every Layole. They can be either big. I like big knives, so this one is a big, hunter knife. But the overall shape is always the same with the Layole. This is the usual shape of the handle, and this is quite a usual shape also for the blade. They're all slip joint. I mean, they didn't move to the liner locks or any frame locks. All slip joints. You see, material. It's always wood. Sometimes it can be metal, but mainly it's a wood. You can have some bolsters or not. Usually they have some bolsters. Mine here, it's kind of wood, exotic wood. I don't even remember. Usually I don't like wood, but since I wanted to have some nail, so I have to live with this. Okay, so that's the first thing that is very common is the shape of the blade. I'm gonna open it now, if you will. Yeah, it's a slip joint. It's very hard slip joint. So yeah, the second feature that is very, very usual for the Layole is this feature here. We call that a fly or a bee or whatever. Historically, it is said, this is a really, every Layole you will have that on the top here of the spring. You have the fly here. It is said that it was allowed by, it's an imperial sign from Napoleon I, and he said that since the city was very brave, Napoleon allowed the people from Layole to use this artifact on their knives. So that was the kind of story that you can find between for this feature, this fly. First they came like that, you know, without any engravings and anything, but after that they made the shape of the, you know, the engravings that looks like really like a fly or a bee, whatever you want to call it. Some say also that this feature was very a useful feature because it holds the blade in place when open. Okay, you pick whatever. I kind of like the Napoleon part, you see. Other feature that you find from, it was in the middle of the 20th century, is this cross here. This cross, yeah, like I said, it's not always, but you find that now in most of them, only on one side of the blade. Again, here the history says that this cross, most important of the history that you will find is that the cross is a kind of ornamentary, or I don't know, you know, it's a kind of cult in a Catholic way there in those region. They put the knife in the bread like that, and it's a way to celebrate, you know, the Catholic cult. Whatever. So here we are with the knife, very, very, very well-known knife. I think that the most important was to speak about the existence for you guys of this knife, because I'm sure you've heard of Layole. So hearing, you know, some words of history, I may say, it's kind of good. So I like those knives because as a knife lover, I was prone to buy at least one or two, a couple of those knives, but they are users, yeah, in a way, but I much rather wear, you know, other knives with me, you know, they have no clips. Yeah, I mean, this is a knife, you know, my friends, in the United States, you are, I mean, you use the knife that we all know, we all love, with a lot of features that was brought by Spyderco, like the clip, like the hole in the Spidey hole, and a lot of features that also all the mechanism, the locking mechanism brought by you guys, American. This is typically American. This, my friend, is typically French. If you see a knife lover, a knife fan in France, odds are that they will have Layole all over, or TRS all over, or Opinel, and they will be much more into those knives than into American one. So I'm French, so I needed to have a piece, you know, from the French category, but I stick with my American preferences. Sorry, guys. But in any way, that's what I said, that I wanted to talk to you about the history of the Layole, the existence of the Layole, for those of you who don't know that. But that would be the end of it. That would be my first and only video. But look at that. It's a really interesting piece. You know, compared to the Opinel, which are really cheap knives, the Layole, I mean, you can find Layole for as low as $9 these days, but I'm talking about the Chinese knockoffs. Like I said, and it's legal. That's the crazy thing, that it's legal. So when you buy a real Layole, it can cost you, like this one, I think it was like something like $350, $400. I don't know. I don't remember correctly. It's a very nice. You have nice material. Again, it's an exotic wood, very nice wood. The bolster, it's a kind of composite. I don't really remember what it is. Look at the work that it. I love the liners here in red like that. It enhanced the spring, and the work of the guilloche is absolutely excellent. This is a feature that you find also a lot in the Layole. This work, it's a work of art for me. Really, the guilloche is absolutely excellent. And you see, I think that it is very neat that they added here a very nice amount of work on the guilloche, and here the neat part of the fly without any guilloche, any engraving here, and again some guilloche on the blade, on the back of on the spine of the blade. It's excellent. It works kind of jimping, you know. Yeah, it's very effective as jimping, but again, remember that it's a slip joint, so the steel usually it's a Sandvik steel. You see, it's written here. It's 12C27. That's a Sandvik steel. The equivalent of the Sandvik is, I'm not getting into it, I'm sorry. That's a Sandvik steel, you know what it is. It can be a good steel, but I think that, you know what, in United States, you take great care of your heat treatment. And here, unfortunately, most of knife makers don't do a great job in the heat treatment. So the edge is very, very dull. And this is something also that is historical with the Layole, is that they don't cut. I'm sorry to put it that way, but that's an absolute fact. It's a flat grind. It should cut like hell. But the edge retention is just awful. Everyone that owns a Layole would tell you the same thing. You have to resharpen it, and you cut your meat once or twice, and it won't cut shit. I mean, this is just I resharpen it like every time, and it's not sharpened at all. That's a problem. And I think that it's not a problem with the Sandvik, because I started with those knives, so I thought that Sandvik was shitty blade material, but not at all. It's just, I think, a problem with the heat treatment. As you can see, you see the reflection of my fingers, but I spoiled the blade because it's kind of old now. It was a very, very nice mirror polish finish at the beginning, so you have to forgive the way I treated this blade, but yeah, you can see the reflection of the iPhone in my fingers, kind of classy, little finger up like that. Yeah, very British. But yeah, it was really, really a very nice mirror polish finish. So, you know what? It's 12 minutes now. We've talked about history. We've made an overview of this knife, and I think we've had enough. And I hope you enjoyed as I did, because again, it's very, very special video, this one, compared to the other that I've done and that I will continue to do if I still find some interest of doing those videos. But I think that this one, probably I will make also a video out of an OpenL to talk to you about those knives and a kind of history. I think that yeah. It was a good idea for me, and I stick to it, and I think that I'm going to post this one, because usually I review my video after. I make only one shot. That's the line that I drew first. I make one shot video. If they're okay with me, I post them. If not, I don't. So this one, I think that I'm going to post it because there might be some interest for you guys. So I'll catch you for a more usual kind of video very, very soon. See you guys. Bye-bye.